Every Friday evening, as the sun begins to set over the quiet village, children from every corner gather at Baba Gaba's hut. With firewood crackling and a gentle breeze rustling the trees, they sit in a circle, eager to listen. Baba Gaba, with his deep voice and kind eyes, shares stories of cultures and traditions from all across Africa, tales that keep the spirit of the continent alive. Today he's teaching them about the Hausa people in Nigeria and their culture. The Hausa people are one of the largest and most influential ethnic groups in Nigeria and West Africa, primarily located in the northern regions of Nigeria. The Hausa have a rich history that spans millennia, deeply intertwined with the development of powerful city-states, Islamic scholarship, and trade networks. Let's talk about the origins and early history of the Hausa people. The exact origins of the Hausa people remain somewhat ambiguous, but they are generally believed to have been indigenous to the Sahel region of West Africa, particularly around what is now northern Nigeria and southern Niger. The Hausa are part of the larger Chadic language group, which also includes the Kanuri, but they are distinct in their history, language, and culture. The earliest known records of the Hausa people date back to the 10th century, with their history closely tied to the rise of several powerful city-states. The legendary origin of the Hausa people is often attributed to the mythological tale of Bayajidda, a prince who came from Baghdad, modern Iraq, in the 10th century. According to the legend, Bayajidda is said to have settled in the ancient city of Dora in present-day northern Nigeria and later married the daughter of the local king. From this union, the 7 Hausa city-states were said to have emerged. These cities were Dora, Zaria, Kano, Katsina, Gobir, Reno, and Birnin Kudu. While this legend holds cultural significance, historical evidence suggests that these city-states may have developed over a longer period, influenced by trade, politics, and other neighboring civilizations. The Hausa people were historically known for their city-state system. These city-states developed into powerful urban centers that were independent but often maintained strong trade, political, and cultural ties. The Hausa city-states played a major role in the trans-Saharan trade routes, acting as centers for the trade of gold, salt, and other goods. The cities were governed by kings known as emirs, and each state had its own local laws, political structure, and religious practices. Let's talk about Hausa city-states. 1. Kano. Kano was one of the most prominent Hausa city-states. It became a major commercial and cultural center in West Africa, especially in the 14th century. The city was well known for its Kano Chronicle, which provides valuable insight into the history of the region, including the establishment of the city by Kano, the son of a mythical ruler. 2. Katsina. Katsina, located near the present-day border of Nigeria and Niger, was another important city-state in the Hausa region. It became a significant center of Islamic learning and culture, and it was known for its well-organized military and trade networks. 3. Zaria. Zaria was another powerful Hausa kingdom, which has influenced the cultural and political landscape of Nigeria. The kingdom was known for its military prowess and the leadership of notable queens, such as Amina, one of the most famous and celebrated figures in Hausa history, known for expanding the kingdom's territory and influence. 4. Dora, the founding city of the Hausa people. Dora was the center of the early Hausa kingdoms. It was a key player in the spread of Islam and is regarded as one of the oldest cities in Hausa history. 5. Gobir. Gobir, located to the northwest of Hausa territory, was another city-state that contributed significantly to the history of the region. It played a major role in the defense of the Hausa kingdoms against external invaders, such as the Fulani Jihad in the 19th century. 6. Reno and Birnin Kudu. These smaller but still significant city-states contributed to the overall economic and cultural prosperity of the Hausa people. The introduction of Islam in the 11th century significantly influenced the culture, politics, and society of the Hausa people. Islamic traders and scholars from North Africa began to influence the Hausa city-states, with the religion spreading gradually through trade, conquest, and political alliances. The Sultan of Sokoto, an important Islamic leader from the Fulani Jihad, further solidified Islam as the dominant religion of the region. Islam brought new political systems to the Hausa city-states, including Sharia law and the emirate system, which organized rulers as both political and religious leaders. The Hausa people became renowned for their Islamic scholarship, with cities like Kano, Katsina, and Zaria becoming centers for learning, with Islamic universities and madrasas. Islamic culture also deeply influenced the arts and architecture of the Hausa people, with notable examples including Hausa calligraphy, Arabic script, and the development of distinctive Islamic architectural styles such as the Zaria Mosque and the Kano city walls. Let's talk about Hausa society and culture. The Hausa people are known for their rich cultural heritage, which blends traditional African customs with Islamic practices. Key elements of their culture include language. The Hausa language is one of the most widely spoken languages in West Africa. It serves as a lingua franca in many parts of northern Nigeria and neighboring countries like Niger, Chad, and Cameroon. It is part of the larger Chadic language group. Art. Hausa art is renowned for its brightly colored textiles, metalwork, and pottery. Hausa embroidery is particularly famous, with intricate designs that are used in clothing, especially for traditional ceremonies. Music. Music plays an important role in Hausa culture, with drums, flutes, and string instruments being prominent in their traditional music. Griot musicians are important figures in preserving the history and oral traditions of the Hausa people. Festivals. The Hausa people celebrate various cultural and religious festivals, with Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha being the most important. The Durbar festival, held annually in cities like Kano, is a colorful celebration of the Islamic and traditional cultures, featuring horse parades, displays of military skill, and religious rituals. Architecture. The Hausa people are known for their distinctive architectural style, including mud houses, fortresses, and mosques built from local materials. The Kano city walls, which date back to the 14th century, are a UNESCO World Heritage Site. With the arrival of British colonialism in the 19th century, the Hausa city-states fell under British control. The British created the Northern Nigeria Protectorate in 1900, incorporating the Hausa kingdoms and subjecting them to colonial rule. Despite this, the Sokoto Caliphate maintained significant autonomy under British indirect rule, and the Hausa people remained influential in the political structure of northern Nigeria. The British introduced a new colonial administration that often worked through local emirs, but also systematically undermined traditional systems of governance and land ownership. The British also introduced Western education, which led to the rise of educated elites among the Hausa, but also created divisions between the traditional and modern sectors of society. In post-independence Nigeria, the Hausa Fulani group became an important political force, particularly in the northern region. Many of the early heads of state, including Sani Abacha, Muhammadu Buhari, and Shehu Shagari, were of Hausa Fulani descent, and their policies have greatly shaped modern Nigeria. Hausa culture continues to thrive in northern Nigeria, though the region faces challenges, including poverty, political instability, and the ongoing conflict with Boko Haram insurgents. Despite these challenges, the Hausa people remain a vital part of Nigeria's social and cultural landscape. Let's talk about their behavioral traits. Respect and discipline are core values. Younger people are expected to show deep respect to elders through speech, posture, and obedience. Modesty is emphasized, especially among women, due to Islamic teachings. Public behavior is expected to be humble and dignified. Hospitality is a hallmark of Hausa culture. Visitors are offered food, kola nuts, and water even before being asked the reason for their visit. Hard work and industry are highly valued. Hausa people are often involved in farming, trading, weaving, blacksmithing, leatherwork, and cattle rearing. Communal living is important. Families live in compounds with extended relations, and communal support during events like weddings, funerals, and naming ceremonies is common. 2. Hausa cuisine or traditional food. Hausa cuisine is flavorful, rich in grains, spices, and soups. Meals are often shared in large trays among family or guests, reinforcing their communal culture. Popular Hausa foods: tuwo shinkafa, a thick rice pudding served with various soups like mayan kuka or mayan tashi. Mayan kuka, a traditional soup made from dried baobab leaves and sometimes flavored with fish or meat. Mayan tashi, pumpkin soup usually cooked with meat, vegetables, and ground nuts. Suya, grilled spicy meat skewers beef, ram, or chicken, usually served with onions and pepper. Kilishi, spiced dried meat, similar to jerky. Danwake, dumplings made from ground beans and served with oil, spices, and vegetables. Furida nono, a popular drink made from millet dough balls mixed with fermented cow milk, cooling and nutritious. Kunu, a millet or maize-based beverage, spiced with ginger and cloves. 4. Hausa traditions and customs. Marriage and family life. Marriage is a major life event and often arranged by families. It includes courtship, payment of bride price sadaqah, and a nikah Islamic wedding ceremony. Hausa weddings are colorful, involving pre-wedding celebrations, kamun amaria, traditional music, henna decorations for the bride, and lavish feasts. Polygamy is practiced among Muslims, as allowed by Islam. Let's talk about their naming ceremony called sunnah. On the 7th day after birth, a child is named in a sunnah ceremony. The head is shaved, prayers are offered, and guests are entertained. Animals, usually sheep or goats, are sacrificed as part of the celebration. Coming of age. Boys are taught to recite the Quran and engage in farming or trade. Girls are traditionally trained in domestic responsibilities, though education for girls is increasingly emphasized. Festivals. Eid al-Fitr, Salah, and Eid al-Adha are the biggest religious festivals. They include congregational prayers, sharing food with the poor, and family gatherings. Durbar Festival, held during Eid celebrations, especially in Kano and Katsina. It features royal horse parades, drummers, warriors, and a display of cultural pride around the Emir's palace. Dress and appearance. Men, typically wear flowing robes called baban riga, embroidered tunics, kaftan, trousers, and a kapula. Women, wear long gowns zani, matching headscarves gyale, and adorn themselves with henna and jewelry. Hausa people are master craftsmen known for leatherwork, weaving, blacksmithing, and dyeing, notably the Kano dye pits. Traditional music features instruments like kakeke long trumpet, kalangu talking drum, and goji string instrument. Storytelling called tatsunaya is a major part of Hausa oral tradition, often done by grandmothers around the fire at night. Textiles and dyeing. Kano's ancient dye pits are famous for indigo-dyed fabrics, with hand-woven cloths used in traditional wear. Zaria embroidery is a hallmark of Hausa fashion. Music. Hausa music is rich in praise singing, drums kalangu, flutes algida, and string instruments goji. Praise singers Maroka often follow leaders and wealthy patrons, immortalizing their achievements in poetic songs. Farming and animal rearing. Farming is the backbone of Hausa economy. Hausa people are among Nigeria's most successful farmers. Major crops they plant are millet and sorghum, primary staples used in tuwo and kunu. Maize, rice, beans, and ground nuts, cash and food crops. Cotton and indigo, used in clothing and dyes. Farming techniques. Hoe-based agriculture remains common. Irrigation using shadow and channels near rivers. Seasonal rotation to protect soil fertility. Use of animal dung and compost as fertilizer. Men clear land and plant, while women assist in harvesting, storage, and processing. Children help in the fields after school or during dry seasons. Animal rearing. Cattle, especially zebu, are raised for milk, meat, and dowry payment. Goats and sheep are common for household use and sacrificial rituals. Horses are symbols of nobility and used in traditional events like Durbar. Camels are used in the far north for transport across semi-arid areas. Animal rearing is often the domain of Fulani Hausa households, blending pastoral and settled lifestyles. Let's talk about the olden day challenges Hausa people faced. Conflict and invasions. The Hausa states often warred among themselves, weakening unity and making them vulnerable to Fulani conquest. Frequent Tuareg and Kanem-Bornu raids threatened northern cities. Colonialism. British rule disrupted traditional governance. Emirs became ceremonial heads under indirect rule, and land systems were altered. Cultural erosion began as Western education clashed with Quranic learning. Slavery. Hausa lands were part of the trans-Saharan slave trade, where people were enslaved through wars and raids. Even within Hausa society, domestic slavery existed under Islamic law. Drought and desertification. The Sahelian climate made farming unreliable. Famines occurred in years of poor rainfall. Deforestation and overgrazing worsened desert encroachment, especially in the northernmost Hausa regions. The Hausa continue to shape Nigeria's future. They dominate commerce in many West African cities. They have produced presidents, governors, scholars, and entrepreneurs. Hausa films from Kannywood based in Kano are now popular across Africa. Their language is one of Africa's most widely spoken, and their culture continues to expand through migration and influence. In conclusion, the Hausa people are not only survivors of centuries of political upheaval, colonial disruption, and environmental hardship, they are thrivers, blending tradition with modernity. Their grace, dignity, spiritual devotion, and cultural wealth make them a cornerstone of Nigerian identity and African heritage. And there you have it, the powerful and inspiring journey of the Hausa people, from ancient city-states to modern influence. Their legacy of trade, scholarship, culture, and resilience is a testament to the depth and beauty of African history. If you enjoyed learning about the Hausa and want to explore more untold stories from Africa and beyond, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and drop a comment sharing what fascinated you the most. Stay curious, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video.